All right, so swing recap this week is going to be for the week of 10/10. So what is it? October 10th, 2001. Didn't do great on swings this week, but hopefully I kept everyone safe and just going to go over what I was thinking here for the swing. So the first one we're going to look at is BMRA. So what I said was I'd like to pick up dips above 6. This is the daily chart here that we're looking at here. So remember they had this huge volume day here, and then they made it like it was gonna fail, and then it picked itself up. But 6 was a really key level for me. I wanted to stay above 6, and I believe it was Monday right here. Yeah, Monday the 11th here. Once it got down, I believe it was Tuesday, and it fell right below 6. I notified the room, swing, and premium that I'm no longer interested in the swing because I wanted it to hold 6. I wanted it to bounce off 6 for me to stay interested. Kind of like this candle right here, where it kind of bounced off of 6 and it continued back up. When it clearly broke 6, it started kind of consolidating right under 6, and right then was when I was thinking, okay, I don't want to be in this no more. I got out for pretty much break even, not really losing anything on the trade. But you have to understand what's going on. If it doesn't perk up right away or bounce right back, it starts to get bearish. And then you see on the day after I said it kind of tanked, and even though it came back up towards 6, it continued its downward trend. It still, I mean, it still has a chance here. If you go ahead and put a line right here on where it found support last time and this gap, it could hit this area here and bounce up. I'm not no longer interested in the trade unless it settles above 6 and starts using 6 as kind of support. But until then, I'm really not. It's really off my radar because you see it had this little nice push this day, and after that, the volume died down. And when the volume dies down, the price dies down with it. So it's nothing that I want to be in anymore. So the next one here that we're going to look at here is VYGR. Kind of similar to to Bimra, but I'm looking at the $4 level for me. That's my line in the sand there. So obvious level right here. So it was major support here. It continued to be support here, and then it had huge problems at 4. You can see it had huge problems with 4 on this huge volume day, where it did over 200 million shares. So right, it had just a lot of problems that day, but then it burst through it, and now it's on its way back down. I'm in it at 430, and I added a little bit more down here, and I'm hoping to add more on Monday too for a nice little bounce up. If this were to go below 4 and kind of fail 4, I'm probably considering getting out of the position just because I want it to hold 4. I need 4 to hold as support. And if 4 doesn't hold as support, I'm going to start to look to get out for maybe a minimal loss, maybe even a break even loss, maybe a small bounce back up, and then reevaluate later on. But I mean, it's not like it's in an upward trend, but I do see this moving higher. If it can consolidate above 4, I can see it making another move past 5. And if it passes this level right here, 560s, it has some room to about 660s, 670s here. Obviously, your next level support right here is going to become resistance. So that is where I'm hoping it would go to here in the near future. Might not be this coming up week. Might be another week or two before to set up. Maybe even a month from now. Who knows? But four is a key level for me here. Again, if 4 breaks, I'm not sure how interested I'd be in this. We'd have to wait to see that play out. But that's pretty much what I'm seeing here on that. And the other two here, APRE and SYPR, we'll just go ahead and pull those up. SYPR. Let's go take a look at this one first. I still feel good about this one. In the room, I said 410s for, and it's a clear level right there. You see that if this level were to break here soon, kind of faked out right here, but if it were to break, level of the next level of resistance is going to probably come into is right here, about 504. So you got about $1 move if it were to break here, and I can see it happening soon. If you follow the room, if you're in the room, or if you're in premium, and if you're following my swings, you'll notice that a lot of times I'm about a week early on my calls because I'm reading the daily chart, and I can see the move happening, but it might not. It might take a little bit before the move to set up. So about a week, I think it was a week ago, I said TCAT was going to make a decent move up here. I said, look, at TCAT's going to make a move from 7. It's probably going to go past 8. And it did exactly that. It went from about 7, and then it topped out here at about 850. So it had a nice move here, but I called it right here when it was right around here in this area. I said, look, at TCAT's gonna make a move. It's gonna, we're kind of bottom fishing here, and we're just hoping for a nice little move to 858. Obviously, the level of resistance right here. TCAT probably still has some more juice left in it too, but obviously there was a major support level right here that it had to hit right there. But it was a very low risk trade here, and I was about a week early on calling this, and I still got a piece of it on multiple days here while it was making that move up. But a lot of times that I'm kind of seeing the move ahead of time and anticipating it, but it's very very low risk though. So if you were to get in at any of these, um, they're not that risky at all because you know they're you're getting at a good price. You're not really worried about holding the bag on everything. This one right here, APRE, the last one here, it was a breakout watch for me too. And if I just draw a line where I was saying about 550s, 560 even right here, it's a clear level of resistance. It's gonna eventually break. It might not even be this week or next week, but it's very clear that it wants to make a move up. It's just it had a huge volume day here. A lot of people holding the bag still from that day. So I'm thinking once people are exhausted out of that move, then it can make a move. But probably not watching it now until it clearly breaks above here strong with volume is the next time I'm going to look at this one. So this one in SPRE is kind of just anticipating it. I normally don't trade off anticipation unless it's a swing like these, and the risk is very minimal. So this one right here, again, we're looking at about this area right here, right around this area for it to break through. It's kind of consolidating that area now. One of these days here soon, it can make a move here to 5s, and then if it breaks this area, I mean, look at all that real estate. It's got a lot of room to roam. And this is different from APRE. If you compare SYPR, if you look at this chart here, it's actually uptrending. If you pull it all the way out, I mean, it's actually uptrending. It had its initial move here, spiked up, held its gains, had another nice move up here, and the lows are keep getting higher. The lows are getting higher, lows are getting higher, lows are getting higher. So this one is a lot better chart. If you're following any of my swings, it's a lot better than APRE. If you look at APRE, I mean, you got like people just got dumped on all the way from 26s, 30s. There were people in the stock in the 40s, almost 50, 51, $52, and then it got dumped on here back in the beginning of the year. It looks like just massive dump, and then now it's just kind of here at the bottom. But the only thing good I can say about this is it probably found its floor, right? Because if you go ahead and just put a line here, right here, that's pretty much where it bottomed out at. So like there's not really too much more further it can go. But again, still a lot of bag holders. A lot of people got caught in this day right here. A lot of people got caught in this day. So until those people get exhausted out, we're just gonna have to wait. So it's kind of trading within about 390s till about 550s right now, just kind of within that little channel right there. So again, same thing as SYPR, waiting for it to break through and with volume and close above here. That's the ideal. And then I'd like to get in on the secondary move. You don't have to get in early. You could always wait. There's always going to be the confirmation move for you to make it. But again, compare these charts here. One of them, people are just holding the bag compared to SYPR, where it's actually on an uptrend, right? So just something to keep an eye on, something to notice here when you're reading these charts, because you don't want to. You always want to be on the right side of the volume. I always say that. You always want to be on the right side of the volume. And what I mean by that is you have these little bunch of volume days right here. So a bunch of people that got caught shorting in this area are still are still caught right here. So if you're above this line here, then you're on the right side of the volume. If you bought anywhere above this line, then it still hasn't came down, if that makes sense. So that's what I mean when I say be on the right side of the volume, right? So if you follow the volume for these two candles, then you're probably holding the bag all the way up here, and then you have this other candle where people got caught. So a lot of people are holding the bag up here and holding the bag down here. So shorts are stuck here, longs are stuck here, and now it's kind of just hovering in the middle. So, we'll see where it goes. Hopefully it's going to break out soon and make a move back up with some volume. We'll see. But, I mean, that's pretty much it. I think this week's going to be a lot better for swings. And just another note here for people that aren't familiar with the way the market moves. A lot of times when NASDAQs and the S&P 500, these big cap names, when they're doing good, a lot of the small caps, like the ones that I swing, usually just kind of consolidate or go down. And the reason for that is because money usually rotates between what's popular or what's trending at the time. So if all the money is going to the big caps and going to the S&P and the NASDAQ, then the money's has to be taken out of somewhere. So people ain't interested in these names, and so vice versa. So if the NASDAQ starts to go down and they start having bad days, you'll see a lot of these small cap names start to rocket. So that's normally what happens, and I think that's what we've seen last week here with some of these swings here. But I got a couple of really nice swings coming up this next week that I feel pretty good about. So I'm excited to put that out. And if there's anything else, go ahead and send me a direct message. I'll see you in the room.